Hi, my name is Ed Shanshala. I'm the CEO of Amanuset Community Health Services. At ACHS, we realize you do not need to be a French bistro chef to prep and serve meals that you feel good about. That's why our Food is Medicine program is designed that from 30 minutes prep to plate, you too can serve nutritious meals.
My name's Mina, and I'm the teaching kitchen instructor for Amanuset Community Health Services Food is Medicine program. I was a teacher for 20 years before this, and one of the biggest focuses in my classroom was that food doesn't have to have morality. Food is really not about good and bad, it's about nutrient dense and non-nutrient dense. And here at Amanuset Community Health Services, that's our focus with this program. We want to help you get your food prepped to plate in 30 minutes or less. So we're going to make a quesadilla today, but we're going to do it two ways. So the most traditional type of quesadilla that people are familiar with is the kind that you might get at a Mexican restaurant that's filled with cheese, maybe it's got some shredded chicken or shredded beef in it. We're going to go vegetarian today for our savory option. We're going to fill it with some shredded cheddar cheese, and we actually have a little leftover, it's something called cowboy caviar. So cowboy caviar is basically just any type of beans or chopped vegetables that you've thrown together into a bit of a dip that you eat with chips. So we had a little bit left over, so we decided that this would be nice to fill our quesadilla with. So this one has black-eyed peas, black beans, red peppers, red onion, and some corn in it, and lots of good seasonings. So when you're building your quesadilla, there's really just a couple rules that you have to follow, and then otherwise it's kind of choose your own adventure. So you've got a tortilla, doesn't matter what size it is, but you do need to follow a little bit of a procedure when it comes to filling it. So whenever you're filling a quesadilla, you want to make sure that whatever you're putting into it is staying on one half of the quesadilla. So arrange everything so it's not going past this line, and you want to try to maintain at least a little bit of a rim around the edge. Now, if you don't, all that's going to mean is things are going to fall out of your quesadilla as it heats up because all of this is going to melt. So I'm just going to leave this right here. And as I add my filling, I'm going to make sure I put it right on top of the cheese. And at this point, I could add a little bit more cheese on top if I wanted to. That would be totally fine, or I don't have to. Another ingredient that I like to add to my savory quesadillas is something called nutritional yeast. This will boost the cheesy flavor of what we've got going on here, but will also boost the fiber and the protein content. So we're just going to shake this on. So we won't really need more cheese on top because we've got this. Perfect. So now I'm just going to fold it over, give it a little press so that way everything's together, and we're just going to set it onto our burner. So this is set to 350 right now. Basically, you just want to hover your hand over the pan and it should feel like a nice day at the beach. Shouldn't be too hot, shouldn't be cold. Right now when I'm hovering over this, it does feel a little hot, so I'm actually going to bring it down to about 300 because I don't want this to burn. We want to strike that balance between melting what's inside and not scorching the tortilla because that would not be good. So I told you we'd be doing it two ways. So now the other way is going to be a little more creative to show you that you don't necessarily have to follow a prescribed plan when you're doing this. It really is just a matter of taking a tortilla and filling it with some stuff, preferably stuff that will melt. So we did our savory. Now we're going to move on to our sweet. So for our sweet, we've got some natural peanut butter, and then we've got dark chocolate chips, and we've got a banana. So we're going to start with our banana. We're going to crack it open, and we just want to thinly slice it. We don't want this to be a chunky slice because we don't want it to take over the flavor of our sweet quesadilla. So we're just going to go like this. You don't need a whole lot. That's probably enough to get the flavor across. And then we just want to use something that we can easily spread with. Grab some of that natural peanut butter. And remember what I said, put it on half. I think we need a little more. Oop, get it on your fingers sometimes, that's okay. All right. I think that'll work. This is a really great way to give your kids like an after-school snack. There's really no wrong way to do this. I think just any type of spread would work well. Nutella is delicious. That could be super good in here. Nutella with some strawberries could be really good. Really no wrong way to do it. So just kind of sprinkle those chocolate chips around. This is a measure with your heart kind of moment. And then we're just going to place the bananas on top of everything. This is not a nutritional yeast moment. Nutritional yeast has a cheesy flavor to it. And I mean, if that's what you like, that's fine. I will not be putting that on here. So I'm going to squeeze this shut. And at this point, we probably could flip this. Good things are happening. I actually think I can turn that heat back up to 350. And we'll let that keep going. So now I can just kind of slide this one over. And we'll put this one on the griddle. So these are going to cook and do their thing. Once they are fully melted on the inside, you would just remove them from the heat and we're going to chop them up. This one right here is getting pretty close. We can see that we've got some melting inside there. Just give it a little press. This is a great way to use up leftovers. So tortillas keep for a long time in the fridge. So if you had a pack of tortillas on hand, you could make use of leftover meat. So if you had chicken the night before, shred it up. It'd be delicious if you toss some barbecue sauce with it. There's just so many ways you could do this. So really sometimes just having a couple staples on hand can provide you with a lot of options. All right, this is ready. So we're gonna take this one off. We'll move this one back here, let it do its thing. We're gonna chop this up. So it doesn't really matter how many sections you cut it into. This isn't a super big tortilla, so I'm just gonna cut it in half. And we've got a delicious quesadilla. We'll set that off to the side here. This one's gonna keep cooking. Once it's melted inside, we'll flip it over, and then we can cut this one in half as well. Ooh, it's looking good. Should just be another second. It's also possible to do these in a more desserty kind of way. You could add things like frosting inside for special occasions. There's really a lot of ways that you could do it. I think the biggest takeaway from this is just that you want to make sure that you're not afraid to take a risk in the kitchen, because really, what is there to lose? If you don't like it, don't have to make it again. But how are you going to know you like it unless you try it? All right, this is definitely ready. So now we've got two options here. So on this plate, we've got a sweet quesadilla and a savory quesadilla. Both of these, easy to take with you, quick and easy to make, not a whole lot of cleanup, a great option.